losing her battle with leukemia. Doctors gave her parents only 48 hours before her organs would begin to shut down and fail. As a last-ditch effort, her parents agreed to allow Emily to undergo an experimental treatment. And today, Emily is considered to be cancer-free. What's potentially even more amazing than her apparent miraculous recovery is what doctors used to save Emily's life. Doctors Carl June and David Porter injected Emily with a derivative of HIV, a key component of their new CART-19 procedure. Dr. June told the Huffington Post on April 5th of 2013, "Essentially, we created a virus version of Dexter, a killer that only kills other killers." The American Cancer Society, last updated January of 2014, estimates that this year in the United States alone, over 20,000 individuals will be diagnosed with leukemia. And while traditional treatments will help, I should not drink soda, will help 75% of those affected, for the other 5,000, the CART-19 procedure could be the answer to all of their prayers. Today, we're going to examine the origins of the CART-19 procedure, examine how it would work within each of our own bodies, before finally looking at both the positive and negative implications of what ABC on March 10th of 2013 called a breakthrough in cancer treatment. But first, it is imperative that we understand the fact that this treatment didn't simply come from nowhere. There are two main parts to its origin. First, why it's needed in the first place, and second, the development itself. But first, according to Science Daily on October 8th of 2013, our bodies don't have the ability to fight off leukemia because our immune system can't see it. This is because the leukemia cells are still coated in a white blood cell facade that allows for them to go undetected by the immune system, thinking that it's actually a part of the body. Now, scientists further explained that all viruses are extremely adept in changing their outer layer to full host bodies that this belongs inside the body of whatever creature, in this case humans, the virus happens to be mutating within. According to Gawker on October 8th of 2013, one of the most skilled viruses is HIV. So, doctors June and Porter decided to use this fact against itself, taking an HIV cell, gutting it, and replacing it with a DCK genome, a gene that is found in literally every gene in the human body. But additionally, this protein is key in helping anti-cancer treatments to be effective. Essentially, they created something that would not only be beneficial for every individual, but could ultimately be part of every human cell. They had 8 years of clinical trials on mice before they finally got the go-ahead to start trials on humans. The initial trials had 3 adult males, 2 of whom are now considered to be in full remission, and the third, who not considered to be cancer-free, no longer has a death sentence that he had prior to his injection with the CART-19 procedure. But potentially what is most amazing about this latest innovation is because, as doctors explained to the Wall Street Journal on April 5th of 2013, because we are using the outside layer of the HIV cell and nothing else, there is no risk of infecting a patient with HIV. Because as they explain, if we cure your leukemia, but give you HIV, it's not exactly progress at all. With a better understanding of the origins of this latest innovation, we can examine how it would work within each of us. By first, looking to the fact that according to the Philadelphia Inquirer of November 5th of 2013, each and every one of our bodies is extremely unique. Well, duh. But what this ultimately means is that not only are our bodies unique, but the way that cancer mutates within them is also incredibly unique. This idea is with the same one that is behind why every single year we need to get a new flu vaccine, because as the virus changes, so much the treatment. Therefore, doctors are required to create a specified CART-19 protocol for each individual patient. In order to do this, doctors will remove millions of T cells from a patient, which are essentially the cells that make up leukemia in the first place, create a specified CART-19 procedure, and re-inject them into the patient. allowing for them not only to receive this amazing new treatment, but also to receive a targeted one as well. Now, there was one small hiccup with the re-injection of this much DCK into the human body. What doctors found was that for whatever reason, it caused a huge spike in fever, to the point that it put the patient's brain and organ health at risk. Now, as they explained to the New York Post on April 18th of 2013, for whatever reason, this reaction was very similar to rheumatoid arthritis. So, giving a patient treatment for rheumatoid arthritis, along with the CART-19 procedure, brought the fever down to non-existent and allowed the body to continue to attack only the leukemia and not itself. Now, this latest innovation is absolutely amazing and has both positive and negative implications. One of the biggest positive implications is that during the creation of the CART-19 procedure, scientists created over 80 different mutations of the HIV mutation. Currently, they are working to see what other cancers and potentially other diseases they hold the cure to in their laboratory. And while this newest creation does seem like the greatest advancement, and it potentially might be, it does have 3 negative implications. The first of which is that it takes years before a patient is considered to actually be fully cancer-free. And as the latest clinical trials on humans were only done in the last 2 to 3 years, it could be a long time before we know whether or not this is actually a cure or simply a stopgap in the treatment regimen for leukemia. But second, doctors warn that this latest innovation could take a long time to be available commercially, because both it takes time to train doctors on how to create the CART-19 procedure, but also because the equipment necessary to create a specified regimen aren't exactly just sitting around in closets anywhere. It will take time to both train and manufacture the equipment necessary. But finally, and the potentially biggest negative implication, is that this treatment is still considered to be highly experimental. Insurance companies tend to only be willing to shell out money for treatments that are considered traditional and proven, putting this price tag potentially on the patients. And as Forbes magazine of October 8th of 2013 estimates that this treatment will have a price tag of $20,000 just to create the protocol itself. This high price tag and classification as experimental could keep it out of the hands of thousands of individuals who truly need it. Now, while these 3 negative implications do outnumber the positive, they don't outweigh it. All 3 of these implications can be overcome by both time and progress. Today, we examined the origins of the CART-19 procedure, examined how it could function within each of us, before finally looking at both the positive and negative implications of what allowed Emily to have a second lease on life. Today, Emily has returned to the normal life of a 9-year-old girl, thanks to HIV. She is hopefully just the first of thousands who will hopefully benefit from this treatment, and who will all be proof that help can come from the unlikeliest of places.